Hello, everybody. It is Brandon Foster, author of Confident If, Unleash Your Inner Badass, and confidence coach, mindset expert for incredible badass people like yourselves who are watching this video. And today I wanted to bring on an incredible badass so that she could share her experience with you of working with me. And that is the incredible Jill. Hi, Jill. Welcome.
Hey there. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, for starters, why don't you just tell everybody about where you're from and what your business is?
Okay, yeah. So I'm Jill, and I'm from North Texas, and I am a travel advisor. So I have my own travel agency, and yes.
Perfect. Beautiful. And you decided to join the Born to Slay Mindset Mastermind. What was going on in your life and your business that led you to join that mastermind?
Yeah, so I was at the time when I reached out, I was going through travel agency certification training with the COV Mastermind. And as I was working through that, building my business, creating my business, looking into all of the aspects of building that foundation of my business, I had several just limiting mindsets that were kind of roadblocking me into creating some of my purposes and just different. I had a lot of different ideas that I couldn't quite put into action. And so yeah, so that's kind of where I was at the time, just kind of had decision paralysis. I was having a lot of decision paralysis. And yeah, just doubts, just different doubts as well.
Yeah, decision paralysis when you're running your own business is not
Yeah,
good, right? Because decisions
correct.
have to be made to move forward. So definitely no
Yes,
bueno there. Just out
correct.
of curiosity, what resonated with me to work with me? Because I would love to say like I'm the only mindset coach out there, but I'm not, boo. So what resonated with what I had to say? Why did you decide to work with me?
Well, I had seen some of your, calls with others, and I noticed you had this really great ability to really see and define their roadblocks and to help them overcome those specifically for them. And so I knew that's kind of what I needed. I needed some I needed that eye to really that perception to say, okay, this is really what you're struggling with, and to be able to really name it and clarify it very easily and point it out for what it is so that I can handle it and move past it and grow. And yeah, so I just noticed that you really had that ability to be very precise and have that perception.
Love it. Love it. Thank you for sharing that. And we got to celebrate some of your big wins. What do you feel like are some of your biggest wins of our time working together?
So I think so several things, but definitely I would say being able to have confidence in knowing and trusting my decision making. So yeah, being able to have confidence in that in the decisions. Also being able to have these mindset shifts that we're able to push me into limiting beliefs. So for example, whenever I started to feel like something was going to when I had doubt, I would definitely remember, okay, God does not set me up to fail, right? God does not set me up to fail. And then I would also remember God's going to bring me the right clients and I can let go of the wrong clients. So just a lot of these great mindset shifts that could have really crept in to help, before that would have really crept in and narrowed my business action.
Amazing. And what were some of those practical decisions that you did that kind of unlocked for you during our time together?
So some of the practical things were maybe even small shifts in my life that really stacked upon one another. So just really healthy shifts, healthy practices, my relationship with time, how I viewed time, how I viewed kind of dealing with procrastination, also being able to just having a lot of those affirmations and positive mindsets. So those were a lot of practical pieces that allow me to take actions that I wasn't taking before. Yeah.
I love it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but like you didn't have a website, right? Didn't you? Your website
Correct.
came out during our time together, right? And
It did, yes. And so true. Yeah. So my website, I was very apprehensive because I tend to have this level of perfectionism that I feel like I want to obtain and that I don't ever obtain because I'll see something else that I'm like, oh, that looks better or this looks better. But just resting in, what I have and knowing that it is I can trust myself in it, that it is good and that it is going to bring about the right audience that I'm wanting to attract and that God's going to use that as a means of platform for me because he's got my back. And so it really gave me confidence to stand in that. So I was able to put my website out. I attended one of my first events. I was really nervous about that. But again, it was like I just kept thinking in my head, the same affirmation. So yeah, I was able to overcome a lot. Yeah, doing the event, being able to just lay down some of those limiting fears, the fears and doubts that creep in, that's easy to let them take control, but but yeah, definitely overcoming those.
fantastic. And what was it like to be coached one-on-one, where we have that one-on-one time together and we talk about what your beliefs are, your mindset, and how that's impacting the practical pieces inside of your business? What was that time like together?
Yeah, I think that that's so important because that really allows you to have that very specific growth towards yourself. Um, and being able to have your support, like to be able to have your personal support and your personal care, like you really pour your heart into into your client, like into me individually during that time. And so it's just such a personal take on something that I think really helps to make it, to help achieve that even in your life personally, rather than just reading through modules on your own, which is beneficial, but definitely having that personal piece helps a lot too.
Love it. Because, Boo, that's one of my favorite pieces of Born to Slay is being
Yeah.
able to spend time with y'all one-on-one. Because I just love that so much. I love that time to dedicate my full energy and attention to you specifically, your unique situation, unique mindset, unique beliefs, paradigms, all those kinds of pieces to help you. It's my favorite thing ever, truly. Now, you know that you already kind of worked with me a little bit because of the original mindset content that I created for Wanderlust Campus and their Careers on Vacation program.
Yes.
A lot of people might be wondering, what is it like in Born to Slay versus Wanderlust Campus,
Yeah.
or versus maybe they've watched something on YouTube or they've watched my podcast episodes. How would you describe the difference in the content inside of this mastermind versus the previous things that you had digested before?
I think with the mastermind, it really just dives into such deeper content. So you're diving really deep into into these limiting actions, limiting beliefs, limiting practices. And then also being able to have that personal time to walk through it with you is definitely has really amplified my action in my business. Just having, yeah, that personal aspect to it and being able to dive deeper into so many of these things that limit action in your business.
I love that you're tying the mindset to action, because that's something I always talk about. And
Yeah.
like, it's so important for people to understand, because everyone is always, as human beings, we always know that action leads to results, but we often forget that our mindset impacts the actions we take and the actions we don't take, which leads to the results. And so I'm so happy and grateful that you shared that without any prompting, which is great. So I guess the only other question I would have for you, Boo, is knowing you, I know that you sometimes are afraid to make decisions
Yes.
and afraid to trust yourself, because that's something that we worked a lot
Yes,
on in our
definitely.
time together. So I have a feeling that it was probably a hard decision for you to join the mastermind to begin with, to take the leap, to invest. And maybe other people have thought about it, have wanted to do it, but maybe they don't trust themselves either. Maybe they're afraid to invest. And so for someone who did take that leap of faith, I always talk about the velocicoaster, right? In terms of like fears, to get on the velocicoaster, so to speak, with me.
Yes.
What would you want to say to someone who's afraid to trust themselves, or who's afraid to do it, who, like you, wants to be able to make those decisions? What would you say to someone?
Yeah, well, I would say, I can relate to them. And that I understand how it feels to be there. And I understand how um, basically it stalls you and how limiting it feels. And kind of how much progress it feels like you're losing when you're in kind of that decision paralysis, or that there's these things you're struggling with in your business, and but you don't know how to get past them. And so basically I would say to them really is, you wouldn't stay stuck without action on the side of the road, in your car if you're stuck on the side of the road. So it's like, why would you stay stuck in your business that is like really giving fuel to your entire lifestyle? So if you can, like, if someone's willing and able to push you to the next level, like, why would you not choose that? And I guess really it is a lot on questioning yourself or your decisions. And that's something that you have been able to help me with so much, is to have confidence and to trust myself in the decisions that I'm making. And so I think that's even more so. If you're feeling that, that's like, hey, maybe that's a sign right there that you need to jump on so that you can overcome, some of these limiting and it's like you got to invest in your business. If you want it to succeed, if you want something to grow, you've got to feed it, you've got to invest in it. And I think it's a wise, if someone's questioning it, that already means right there that they're having some thoughts that, like for me, I knew I was wanting to obtain more than what I was currently able to obtain. And so for me, that was like, okay, yes, I've got to do this, because I can't afford to not um do something for my business that's going to push it to success.
I love it. That was I love the car analogy.
Oh, thank you.
I pride myself in my analogies, but
Yeah.
that was a really good one that I've never heard from anybody before.
I know.
So
I totally love your analogies too. And so I'm definitely an analogy person when I think that way. So yeah, definitely love your analogies as well.
wow, that was so good. If your car is stuck on the road, you're not just gonna stand there and wait forever. You're gonna get
Yeah,
help so you're back on the road. That
that's
was so
right.
good. Well, Boo, is there anything else on your heart for whatever reason that God's like, you need to tell the people this? Anything else that you want to share?
Yeah, well, I would just say really thank you to you personally for taking the time to work with me because I know that you do pour your heart and care into each of your clients. And so I appreciate that. And I appreciate you also really individualizing it and really looking at my life throughout it so that you could really spot on help me to truly overcome and achieve overcome my obstacles. So I just appreciate that so much. And to everyone else, I would say, invest in yourself, invest in your business. And it's important to do that because as you invest in yourself and as you invest in your business, you can then invest into others as well. So it's part of serving, being able to fill yourself and, overcoming your mindsets and your so that you can have those actions to help others.
I love it. Thank you so much for
Okay.
sharing today, Jill Boo. I love you to
Yes.
pieces. I cannot wait to see how everything stacks for you as you continue to grow and build that co-creative faith with you and God, doing the thing together, trusting who he created you to be, trusting the desires he put in there, trusting that, like you said, he's not setting it for failure. It's from success to success to success. I love that so much.
You. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You are so welcome, Boo.
Okay.